In this example, I need to verify the identity when I have the quantity the cosecant of x plus the secant of x that is all divided by the quantity 1 plus the tangent of x, and that quotient equals the cosecant of x. Well, looking at this identity, the left-hand side looks a lot more complicated than the right-hand side, so I'm going to start by working on the left-hand side. And in this identity, I have 1, 2, 3 different trig functions. So I think the simplest thing might be to rewrite everything in terms of sines and cosines. And here are a few identities that are going to help me do that. So I start with the cosecant of x, which is 1 over the sine of x. So I have 1 over the sine of x plus the secant of x is 1 over cosine x. That is my numerator, and that is all divided by 1 plus the tangent of x, which is the sine of x divided by the cosine of x. Now I have a complex fraction. The easiest way to simplify this is to find the least common denominator of all the terms in the numerator and the denominator. Then I'm going to multiply all 1, 2, 3, 4 terms by that LCD. Now, to find the least common denominator, you go to your first denominator, and I need that in my LCD, so I have to include the sine of x. Go to your next denominator, that's the cosine of x. Do I have that in the LCD? No, so you just multiply by cosine x. Go to your last denominator. Do I already have a cosine x here? Yes, you don't need another one. So the LCD is the sine of x times the cosine of x. And I'm just going to multiply each of my 4 terms by sine x cosine x divided by 1 if my term is a fraction, as the 2 in the numerator are. But the 1 is not a fraction, so I'm just going to multiply it by sine x times cosine x. Last term's a fraction, so I'm going to multiply it by sine x times cosine x divided by 1. Now all I have to do is simplify this mess. In the first term, my sine x is reduced, and I get left with 1 times cosine x divided by 1, so that's just cosine x, plus the next term, cosine x is reduced, 1 times sine x times 1 divided by 1 is just sine x, all divided by sine x cosine x times 1 is just sine x times cosine x. Plus, in my last term, the cosine x is reduced. I get sine x times 1 divided by 1. So that is sine squared x. Now, looking at the numerator, it's not going to simplify anymore, so I'm going to leave it as cosine x plus sine x divided by, in the denominator, both terms have a common factor of sine x. So factoring a sine x out of sine x cosine x, it's going to leave me with cosine x. Plus factoring a sine x out of sine squared x is just going to leave me with sine x. Now, the numerator is equal to this expression in the parentheses, so I can reduce the whole numerator with that parentheses. And don't forget, what do I get left with in the numerator? It's 1. Divided by sine x times 1, which is just sine x. Lastly, what is 1 divided by sine x? Remember, 1 divided by sine x equals cosecant of x. And is that my right-hand side? Yes. So I have verified this trigonometric identity.